So listen to this. How far has America come? This is from Mandel Nagan from the Daily Caller. He is an opinion writer. He said in C.S. Lewis's 1945 science fiction novel, That Hideous Strength, a group of Christian dissidents join forces with the resurrected wizard Merlin to fight a techno-Satanist conspiracy that threatens to engulf Britain and then the world. After learning that Christianity has been torn to pieces and speaks with a divided voice, Merlin makes a bold suggestion. If all this west part of the world is apostate, might it not be lawful in our great need to look further beyond Christianity? Today in our country, where progressives are rapidly mainstreaming Satanism and the Oval Office is occupied by a devout Catholic, in parentheses, who praises the chemical castration of children, many American Christians are asking themselves the same question. You know, the one thing that bothers me about this is I don't think we've tried Christianity. I don't think we've been. It's kind of like the Bill of Rights. People are like, we got to get rid of the Constitution. It just doesn't work. We haven't done it for like 100 years. So, and have we really done Christianity? I mean, a lot of people say they're Christians. I say I'm Christian. But I don't know. Do we live it every single day? Are we striving to be closer to God and to be better Christians? I haven't seen that movement. I feel like it's starting to bubble. But before we give up on Christianity, can we, I don't know, let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a whirl. 6 years ago, conservative Christians marched against Sharia law. Today, many would rather live under Islamic crescent than under the pride flag. And that might turn out to be the choice on offer. Christians are slowly, painfully learning that neutrality is a myth. Traditional adherents to the two faiths are already make common cause in resisting progressive tyranny. Anti-feminist, anti-trans commentary from conservative Christian pundits like Matt Walsh and Candace Owens have circulated widely among traditional Muslims. In Dearborn, Michigan, Muslim parents shut down a school board meeting after learning that the school library included, among other titles, a guidebook explaining the ins and outs of gay sex. Some figures on the fringes of the right are even praising or embracing Islam. This should bother you, and this is one step closer to the line that I fear we're walking right up to. And the only solution is Christianity, practiced Christianity. Love thy neighbor. Why is this op-ed being written? Because Christians are losing hope. And they're starting to say, well, this isn't working. Well, you haven't practiced your religion, I contend, for most people. And so what are they doing? They're looking for someone that's a little more hardline to clean up the mess. This is exactly what happened in Germany. Weimar Republic. I've been talking about this recently. Weimar Republic. The first trans surgery happens in 1925. They open a university of sexology. They start pumping out LGBTQ and transgender stuff. It permeates the culture. That's what the movie Cabaret is really about. It permeates the culture. It degrades the culture. It starts to seep into the school. Pedophilia rears its ugly head. And people have had enough of it. When there is another choice, they try and fight, but the churches are already dead. And so people look to something else. And the something else is Adolf Hitler. Because the first year or so, all he's talking about is making Germans moral again. And so he goes in and he destroys it. And what did everyone say? All the people said, well, you know what? He's so ridiculous. Nobody's ever going to listen to him. But he'll get the job done, and then we'll take back the power. Doesn't work that way. I don't want to live under a crescent flag. Thank you. Sharia law, not for me. But the left is pushing and pushing and pushing. Monday night, the Los Angeles Dodgers announced that they had reversed course again and now have re-invited the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence to be honored at their June 16th Pride Night festivities. The drag queens who dress as nuns accepted an apology and will receive the Community Hero Award at the Dodgers' 10th annual LGBTQ plus Pride Night. They are being cited for the life-saving work that they have done tirelessly. So, these quote-unquote nuns, all drag queens, their slogan is "Go forth and sin some more," are doing life-saving work. They are also mocking Christians. They are, diabolical in nature, opposing the things that Christians believe. So the Dodgers said, no, we're not going to do this because the Catholics went crazy. Well, apparently, Catholics don't have as much power anymore as the drag queen community. Let me give you this story. Do you remember a story I told you about the transgender pedophile that took his 7-year-old daughter and made movies with her and other pedophiles? And they were rape movies over and over and over again, and it was absolutely horrendous. Okay, he was convicted. He's now in the women's prison. And he's suing now because he says he and the entire Wiccan population at the prison, he's a witch. He said they've suffered religious discrimination and we seek religious accommodations. Now, as the Blaze reported a couple of weeks ago, after serving as president of the Clark County Queer Association, he started an amateur transgendered pornography film business. He and 3 other degenerates, one of them is now a fellow inmate at the women's prison with him. There's 2 guys now fully intact in the women's prison. He did what the judge said was, if not heinous, cruel, and depraved, I don't know what is. So he was convicted. He was sent into prison. He and his fellow transvestic child rapist are there, and they are trying to hold religious services. And he wants certain items, including a witch's cloak. That's a brown hoodless cloak. It is one of the personal religious items that he says he needs. Other items, the Book of Shadows, a divination tool, pentacles, pentagrams, rune cards, salt, and chalices. I don't know. I say no. I say no. This is why John Adams said, if you're not a religious and moral people, this system will fall. It's not made for the opposite. You have to have your own morals. You have to have your own standards. And as a society, we have no more standards. So you can just argue, oh yeah, the guy's a Satan worshiper. Yeah, give him the chalice. Sure. No. Washington State now spending $83,000 of taxpayer money on training drag queen story hours. Washington State is spending that money, and they're going to feature the director of Drag Queen Story Hour. Titled Washington DEI Empowerment Conference. The training is set to have talks that include diversity, anti-racism, and equity. Hayden Michaels, the deputy communications director of the Office of Financial Management, said, "We expect the cost of putting on the conference to be about $83,000, 16 sessions, 5,000 seats each session. That's about $1 per seat," he said. Yeah, I don't think the problem is the money, really, quite honestly. It's a drag story hour and fireside chat. How about San Francisco? They've just named their first drag laureate. The drag laureate, promoting the city's queer culture and community. Mayor declared the official job description as being fabulous all of the time. It comes with a $55,000 stipend for the 18-month position. It's part of the program from the mayor's office and the public library. The Tampa Pride on the River event been canceled due to a series of anti-groomer bills passed by the Florida legislature and signed into law. Everybody's upset with this, they say. I have a feeling not everybody is upset with this. Democratic governor declares state of emergency in North Carolina. The Democratic governor of North Carolina declared the state of emergency in education after the legislature voted for school choice. Now, they voted so quickly and so cleanly on this. He says they're trying to starve public education by dropping a bomb on public education. This is the problem here is they're not choking the life out of it. He doesn't like the ruling. He's going to declare an emergency because, why? His veto will be overridden. High school. Lake Ridge High School. The students there, the male students, have been removing tampon dispensers off the walls of the boys' bathrooms. Apparently, the boys in Oregon State don't agree with the requirement that public schools supply free tampons and sanitary pads for boys. Let me tell you again, boys and men do not menstruate. If you are a boy or a man, there's no need for that product. So why would we put menstruation products into a boy's restroom? Do not deny the truth. Boys don't need that. No matter what society may call them, they are clearly girls because boys do not menstruate. So these are the headlines today. Are we headed in the right direction or the wrong direction? Is our solution of, I guess, giving up or teaming with people who have a spine, like those who like Sharia law, is that the right direction? Now only half of Americans say they are sure that God exists. Half. This is from a general social survey, and it is one of the most accurate surveys on religion. Not quite 50% of Americans say they have no doubt of the existence of God. These numbers have changed a great deal. 34% of Americans never go to church. That's the highest recorded in 5 decades. Another report from the Public Religion Research Institute said 27% of Americans claim no religion, up from 19 in 2012, and 16% in 2006. 27 from 16. The share of Americans who identify as white evangelical Protestants has dwindled from 23 to 14%. Share of mainline white Protestants has fallen from 18 to 14. White Catholics have declined from 16% population to 13. Now, do we believe in God? Are we going to church? Nearly 3/4 of the people believe in life after death. So 75% of us believe in life after death, but just less than 50% of us believe in God. Is this a case for the space octopus people? I'm not sure. Only 7% of people do not believe in God. 7. They're mostly, if not all, Democrats. Religious scholars say this is the gold standard of surveys on faith. 29% of Americans claiming no religion at all. That is also up. So what is happening? Well, as we are getting less and less religious, and I'm not pushing any religion because I find God myself, but religion is a framework, and I think we all need different framework, but my faith gives me the framework that teaches me how to live to be a Christian. And whatever that framework is, if you're just going and it doesn't require you to change, you're not really going to church. Church is just a thing you do. Church is outside of the walls of the little building you go to. Religion is where you get those instructions to go do things outside of the walls of the church every Sunday. So what is the solution here? The solution we are ignoring. The solution is getting weaker and weaker. We are getting further and further away from the solution. If you don't see that evil has reared its ugly head at this point, you may never see it. If you just think that this is, I don't know, just what? Another day in America? That these things that you're seeing every day are normal? I don't know how to talk to that person. I really don't. Look at what is happening in our society, in our world, in our schools, to our children. It is absolutely evil. And it's time we start calling it by name.